Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and it's time for our next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 217, and I have got couture creations, well, a lot of couture creations, from paper to foil to cut-in foils to stamps, a ton of product from Couture Creations, and hopefully a way to help you see just how often you can use these products even if you don't have a Go Press and Foil machine. Yes. Now, I have got also updates for you today. Let's start with Mr. SMS, Michael, who, as you all know, on September 12th had open heart surgery, and then September 13th suffered a stroke due to the open heart surgery. He was in ICU for quite some time and then was moved to acute rehab, and I've been fighting to keep him there. They originally said he'd be there for 2 weeks and then they'd be discharging him, and I have been able to push and shove and smile plead my way into 4 weeks at acute rehab, but that will be up on Friday, this upcoming Friday, the 25th, and they have pretty much put their foot down, saying there will be no more extensions for his time there. I'm not sure that's actually true or not. We're going to have to wait and see. If he does still need to be there, then of course I'm going to fight for him to stay. We'll see. Time will tell. It may be possible that he is at a point where outpatient rehabilitation will be just as good as inpatient. I don't know yet. We're waiting to see. So ready or not, he's coming home. We've been able to get a hospital bed donated, and I've got a walker and a wheelchair. So customers and local peeps have been coming up saying, I have this, or I have that in my garage, and we've just been taking advantage of everybody's generosity so that when he comes home, it's as easy of a transition as possible. We're moving our bedroom. Our bed is going to come downstairs and be put in the kitchen nook. I'll have a coffee pot right there, my bed, and then the family room TV right there. Yeah, what more could you ask for? So we're getting ready to move things downstairs, and that way in the middle of the night I will be able to help him get up and get to the restroom and things like that, all those things that need to be done. Now, as for the house, the home I'm talking about is our rental home, and we've been there for over 2 years now. Our house burned down on July 21st, 2017, and it has taken an unreasonably long time to settle with the insurance company, and we're still not settled, but the house is being rebuilt, and we hope to be back into the house by the end of this year. Our landlords at the rental house did serve us with a 60-day notice to vacate, and our time is up October 31st. I thought we would be able to move into a short-term facility. That was before the stroke happened. You know, we'd rent an apartment perhaps for 2 months or something like that. But since the stroke has happened, everything's changed dramatically. It is a life-changing event, and we're going to have to find a new normal, which is fine, because what is normal after all? And really, who wants to be normal? But the rental house is a little bit of an issue, so I let them know last week that, and they've been aware of the open heart surgery. They were aware of the stroke. They've been kept apprised ongoing, that nothing is a surprise to them. So I let them know last week that we're going to need to stay in the house a little bit longer, since I cannot secure housing for Michael that is handicap accessible for him. He can't do stairs. The apartment buildings out here they don't have elevators or anything like that. So and the house has not sold. Their home is up for sale, and it has not sold. So I have offered to continue to pay rent until we need to, we're ready to move out, which is relatively soon. It's a short time frame. Or I understand if they decide to take legal action against us and start an eviction process. I'm hoping that that's not the road they choose to go down, but it is absolutely their right to make that decision. And if that is the case, then we'll have to live with it, and I will have to plead my case and see how long it takes for an eviction to happen, and perhaps our home will be done before that even, before we're having to go to court, and then it's a moot point. But there's no place for us to go in the way Michael is right now, in the condition that he's in. And so we're just going to have to sit tight. And I hate having to do that because it so goes against everything I believe in. Because it's their home, it's not our home, and they want it sold. And I understand they want it sold. But we're between a rock and a hard place right now. And so the best I can do is tell them, please accept the rent, please let us stay. And if not, then I guess we'll just take it one day at a time, because like I said, we're going to have to find a new normal, whatever normal is. So next Friday, Michael will be coming home, I believe. Ready or not, here he comes. And so we'll spend the next week getting the rental home ready for him so that it's easier for him to maneuver with the wheelchair, and I don't think the doors are wide enough for him to get into the restroom, and it just things you never think about until you have to think about them. But certainly nothing that cannot be modified, or we'll buy an attachment for, or we'll do whatever we need to do to get it all done. And then we'll start paying for physical therapy, hopefully daily physical therapy for him, and getting him to and from that as well. So there's our update for this week, and I'm excited to think that he's going to be coming home. I'm nervous to think he's going to be coming home. I want to make sure that we can take care of him in the manner that he needs to be taken care of, but we won't know until we try. And we're just going to have to learn as we go. So anyway, that is what's going on this week. I have Winner Chicken Dinner to update you, and this is from YouTube number 317. I still have the anniversary sale winners. I just haven't had the time to do that YouTube yet. I'm so sorry. I promise I will get to it. So this is from last week's YouTube, or it's YouTube number 316 that we have winner, and that was the Authentique calendar pads, one of them exclusive to us, along with graphics chipboard and acetate and Best Creations glitter tape. It was a really fun YouTube and really easy and cost-effective and very thoughtful gifts to make for people. So who do we have that's going to be a winner? Well, our first winner is Sonia. Sonia Guzman. Hello, Sonia. Is that your name? If it is, you're a winner chicken dinner. Wahoo Couture. You're going to be making somebody a calendar and a whole bunch of cards. So we're going to get your prizes out to you, Sonia, but you're not alone. You have a friend, because we always pick two. There's always two winners. The second one is Tiffany. Hello, Tiffany. Tiffany Walton. Hello, Tiffany. Is that your name? There's a little bit of glue on your page. But if that's you, Tiffany, congratulations. You two are a winner chicken dinner. So, girls, what do you have to do to claim your prize? You have to go to scrapbookingmadesimple.com, look for the link that says winner chicken dinner, follow the directions, and then we'll get your prizes out to you just as quickly as possible. And of course, we have our winner chicken dinner dance. Are you ready? Okay, who was it was Tiffany and Sonia. Okay, Tiffany and Sonia, you're a winner chicken dinner. You're a winner chicken dinner. Wahoo Couture for you. Congratulations to both of you. I hope you enjoy your prizes. I am asking all of you to pray that when Michael comes home, the transition is easy. I mean, I understand it's going to be a very, very long road. It's going to be a very, very long road, but that the transition, getting him even out of the car into the house is easy, because he'll have to go from the car to the wheelchair and then push him. This is all new to us. So we're just going to figure this out and hope that you all are able to pray that the landlords allow us to stay until our home is done, which is hopefully by the end of the year, if not sooner. I am pushing so hard to get that house done. Michael was handling quite a bit of it, until all of this happened. So now they have Stacy. The subs have me. Hello. Chop, chop. We need to get home. Move it. With a smile on my face. Gentlemen, it's good to see you today. Let's figure out the schedule and how much we plan on getting finished today, shall we? Woohoo! Always with a smile, absolutely. All right, you guys, I'm gonna tilt down. We're gonna get started for today. I have got Couture Creations and a new cut and foil from them that I think you need to see to understand. So that's where we're going to start, and I'm always going to start off a little simple so that even those of you who do not have a Go Press and Foil machine will see how to use this product with your own die cutting machine and not foiling at all. All right, so I'm going to tilt on down. We're going to get started for today, and I'm going to show you the make and take that's going on downstairs. Bye, everybody. Okay, so let's see, and then let's zoom on in, zoom, 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 zoom. I'm not going to zoom in too close this time because I've got the machines that I'm going to be using. So let's see, I think that's pretty good. Just a little bit more up, no, down, down, down. Okay, all right, so downstairs they are putting together lovely make and takes, all guy related. Yay, because guys can be the hardest to do things for. Girls are, you know, they're a little simpler. We can do pretty, or we can do elegant, or we can do whimsical, but guys, it's a little harder to find things out there. Just like if you have a little girl or a granddaughter versus a little boy or a grandson or even a nephew, or you go to the department stores, the clothing stores, and the girl section is huge. It's an entire floor. And then there's a tiny little corner over in the section for little boys. And that's kind of how crafting is for guys. There's a huge, pretty section, but then you get to, you know, doing something for a guy and it's like, not so much. Now, do you see we've foiled? But we foiled. Well, I'm going to get there. Well, I'll get there. These are just some of the make and takes that they had the opportunity to do downstairs, or are having the opportunity. With the stamps, all the stamps are by Couture Creations. And let me tell you, I'm going to tell you right now, these stamps retail for $1.67, and then they're on a YouTube Yummy. That's a smoking hot price, and there's a lot of them, and they're all guy related. Even the You Are a Classic is one of them. So for $1.67, less 32 cents, what does that come to? So it's under $1.50 a stamp. You cannot go wrong, especially if you're not a huge stamper, but you'd like to have some stamps for guys. Okay, I'm gonna put these off to the side right there, and I'm gonna start by bringing over one of the Go Press and Foil, the new sets that they've got. There are either 5 or 6 new sets. Let me see if I've got them all. So there's squares, ovals, hearts, rectangles, and circles. So there's 5 new sets, and you can see that they nest, but they nest in a way that's a little different than what you may be used to. So I am going to play with these first, and I'm going to start simple. I'm going to start without using a Go Press and Foil at all, so you can see how that is done. And then I'm going to bring over the Go Press and Foil, and we'll play with that too. I'm also going to be playing with a paper pad. So we have limited quantities of the Couture Creations. It's the Butterfly Garden paper pad. And on the front, I mean the front sides of everything, it's beautiful paper, absolutely beautiful if you look at the front. Lovely, 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 pretty, pretty, pretty. They're very, very, very pretty and very feminine. But what I liked about the paper is that when you turn the paper over and you do the back sides, very guy related, very much for a man. Love that. So you've got the best of both in one paper pad. You've got girly on the front. So girly on the front and guy on the back. How much better can you get than that? That just made my heart so happy when I saw this paper pad. And thankfully, Aussie Andrew, it retails for $5.99, but Aussie Andrew let us do it for 50% off. So we have to give him a big shout out because we're doing this paper pad at 50% off. And that way you've got the best of both worlds. You can do girl or guy, anything out of this one paper pad. Love that about it. Now, the plates are foil plates, which means they are meant to go through your foil machine, whether it be a Go Press and Foil or a Glimmer or the Crafter's Companion Gemini. But these also have a cut line in them, which means you're able to die cut with them at the same time you foil. It's not a two-step process, it's a one-step process. And it's the wider rim that is what actually transfers the foil, and then there's a cut line just like your regular wafer dies, just like a chemically etched die, a thin die that will cut the paper at the same time. But because you've got this wider edge, that allows you to do more with it than just foil. Normally a wafer die that you were just going to cut with would just have the very thin edge to make the cut and not this width of a die. So you really can only do die cutting with it. It's not like you could do ink press transfer or anything like that because it doesn't have the width in the die to make that happen. But cut and foils do, because that foiling needs a wider space to actually transfer that foil. So today we're going to play with these, and again I'm going to start super easy and then get progressively harder, and I'm going to start without using the Go Press and Foil at all. So if you don't have a Go Press and Foil machine, I don't want you to think that you can't use these. You absolutely can, and you can get all the benefit out of them. So that for now, and then if you do decide to get a foil machine, well then you even got an extra benefit. But there's a lot that can be done with these. However, these are aperture dies. And that means that they don't cut out, they cut in. And I want to show you that. We're going to start with that first. So what's an aperture die? Most people, when they look at a die like this, they're going to assume that this is going to cut all the way out. And you do get a negative piece. The negative piece is that inside cut. But from a die cutter standpoint, you're thinking that this cut edge is all the way at the very outside of the die so that you'd get this full circle, big circle out. That's not the case with these. And I'm going to bring over my Sizzix Big Shot machine and my multi-purpose platform. And I'm going to use my multi-purpose platform completely closed. Now, the new machines are not coming with the multi-purpose platform. They're coming with a base plate, and a shim, and that's all you're going to need. The older machines that we have still had the multi-purpose platform. I'm going to bring over well, I guess I can bring over a a cup plate. We'll cut right into it, a cup plate and my do not cut plate. So anytime you use, well, almost anytime you use something going through the Sizzix Big Shot machine, you always sandwich it between two cut plates. And if you buy a machine, they do give you those two cut plates. They will wear out eventually and you'll need to replace them, but that's to be expected. All right, I'm going to just roll it through once. It doesn't need to go back and forth, back and forth. I'm going to put my extra cut plate there because it is an open frame die, which means it's not intricate. Oh, no, you don't. It always does that when I use the Big Shot machine. Something must shake on the table. So remember how I told you you're going to get the center, but you're not going to get the outside. I don't know if I can get it on camera, but there's a little lip here, which is where it would normally foil. So you're going to get the center die, but not the big, not the full size. when you see this, most people would think that you're going to get a cut all the way along this edge and get a bigger circle, but you're not. It's an aperture die, and there's a ridge right there. And if you were foiling, that's what you would get foiled, which is pretty cool. And you can still use this piece. But I want, oh, maybe, well, I'll put that over there. I'm going to save that. But I'm going to start playing with this with ink. And I'm going to use a patterned piece of paper. So I'm going to go into my lovely Couture Creations Butterfly Garden paper, and I'm going to pull out a sheet. So I've got a sheet of paper, and I'm going to bring over my Sizzix Big Shot machine. Yeah, I'm going to cut, I think I'll cut down. I'll cut down into it. So I'm going to take my die, and instead of just cutting it, I'm going to ink it up. So I'm going to take a Memento ink, or a Hero Arts ink, or a Stampin' Up ink, or a Tim Holtz ink. What inks do you have? A Lawn Fawn ink. And I'm literally going to add ink right to that wide part of the die where it normally would foil. And I'm just going to ink up the whole thing. Get a nice amount of ink on there. And rotate it. And rotate it. So that I get it all inky. Because when I roll this through my Big Shot machine, not only is it going to cut, it's going to transfer that ink. I think that's good. Okay. So, I've got my multi-purpose platform. I've got my cut plate down, and as you can see, there's cuts going into it, and that's expected. If you're brand new to die cutting and you think that your plate is going to stay untouched, uncut, no, no, no. It needs to be cut into. I'm going to put my die face down, so I want that ink going against my paper, and then my do not cut plate, which is really now become a cut plate. It's pretty, I need to get a new one. And I'm going to bring my Big Shot machine back over. And I'm going to send it through just once because it is an open frame die, which means it's not intricate at all. Or if you really want to, you can go back and forth. It's not going to hurt it. So let's roll, roll, roll. You might hear some creaks and cracks, and I'm going to bring it on back. I sent it through, and I'm going to bring it on back if I want to. It's up to you. And then let's see what I have. So remember, that center piece is the piece that's going to pop out, and it's going to leave an image around the circle because I inked it. There's my center piece, and there's my image around my circle because I inked it. So I use this very much like a letterpress, and in fact you can feel a little bit of a deboss. Now a deboss means that it goes down into the paper is sunk down into, versus an emboss where it's pushed up and out. So I've debossed my paper a little bit, and I've added that rim right around it. Now why did I want to do this? And I still have this piece. Why did I want to do that? What made that so fabulous that you're like, well, okay, so what? Well, I'll tell you. I'm going to move this here, and I'm going to keep that there, and I'm going to move this over. When you're using patterned paper, quite often when you put a cut in or you make an aperture, a hole, it kind of gets lost because you don't have any detail. Normally we will take paper and we will layer paper on top of paper on top of paper to build that detail. So we might put this little piece on top of here and then this little piece on top of there in an effort to build that detail. But with an aperture die, you're building that detail backwards, and I wanted to add that detail so that it stands out even more. I'm going to cut off my little tag that tells me what paper it is, and then I guess I'll just trim it down. I should have thought a little bit harder about where I positioned it. And let's trim here, and I'm just freehanding. You are going to want to probably use your trimmer. A little off this side. Okay, not great, but not the worst. I'm a freehand type of girl. All right, so I guess I'm going to make a square card for now. And that's what I've got. Now, I'm able to then take my ink and a dauber and starting off from my mat to my paper, my mat to my paper, my mat to my paper, I'm able to kind of distress my edges and just kind of vintage it up a little bit, because we're going to use those vintage stamps from Couture Creations. And I'm just going straight from my ink right onto my paper, just to kind of distress it up a little bit. I'm pretty sure that Tim Holtz was the first one to ever, well, I think he was the first one to ever do this, where you kind of start off the page and then come on and put it on your paper. And the reason why you start off your page on your craft mat or your table or whatever you've got, your glass mat, is so that you don't end up with the shape of the dauber in little places. If you start right on the paper, the first place you're going to put is going to have the most amount of ink, and it's going to leave that little shape of the dauber where you don't want it. And I just want to vintage this up a little bit because I am making a guide card. But I want you to see how having that extra little added detail of the circle around just adds a little touch to it, and it helps define out where you're going to put your stamped image or your sentiment. You're trying to add layering and detail and even a little texture, because that's kind of what you get when you add your ink to add that distress. You're kind of aging it, giving it a little bit of texture that the paper, it's a faux texture, but the paper didn't have that before. Okay, so I think I'm good. So I've aged it up just a little bit. You can age it up as much as you want. And now I think I'm going to take just a white piece of paper. Let's find a white piece of paper. All right, that'll do. I'm going to put this off to the side for just a minute. I'm going to bring my Big Shot machine right on back. I'm going to do the same thing, only this time I'm not going to ink this up at all. I'm just going to die cut out. That's all I'm going to do. So I've got my Sizzix multi-purpose platform completely closed, my cut plate, just a basic piece of white paper, and I'm going to send it on through. I'm not going to ink it all at all. And because it's an open frame die, which means I can stick my hand through it, my fingers through it, I don't need to go back and forth unless I absolutely want to. So let's roll on through. And little creaks and cracks are okay. We sent it on through. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. So now I still have this piece and it's got the debossed edge on it, and I could save that to do something with later. But what I really wanted was this piece. Think of all the scrap paper that you have that you can now utilize for basic cards. I'm going to take my dauber, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to add a little bit more of my distressing right around the edge of, oh, and I just got my finger in it. Gosh darn it. Well, it's a good thing it's vintagey. You know, paper has two sides. Let's see if I can keep my fingers out of it. But paper has two sides, so we're going to go with that. For those of you who have ever been to Disneyland or Disney World and you've been on the Jungle Cruise and you know the eighth wonder of the world, the backside of water. Well, paper has two sides. Amazing, isn't it? I think the first time I realized that, it was like a light bulb moment. Okay. I might even take and just rough my edges up a little bit so they're even a little darker on the sides. Oh, okay, I think we're doing good. Now I can bring over my stamp and stamp my image. So if I brought over my gush pad and I have my paper there and I have already put, well, maybe we should try, I don't know, this one's awful cute. Let's see what this one does. I did one earlier with the stopwatch or the old-fashioned pocket watch. I'll show you that one in a minute. But maybe we'll try one with the little megaphone or the little phonograph. Is that it? It's a phonograph. Because they are vintage stamps. I'm putting it on acrylic block, so this is a clear block that allows you to put stamps on it again and again and again. And whether it be a cling mount, which means it's red rubber that now clings to a clear block, or acrylic, it's going to stick again and again and again, letting you use your stamp again and again and again. And that's the beauty of a tool like that. A stamp is a tool, and that's how you should view it. But for $1.50, I think it's less than $1.50, my goodness gracious, you can have a lovely collection of stamps for guy cards without breaking the bank, or guy embellishments on your pages without breaking the bank. Okay, so ink it up really good. You know what, I haven't stamped with this one yet, so we're gonna see what happens. And I've got it on a gush pad. Why do I have it on a gush pad? Come on, I can hear you. Because if you're stamping on a hard surface, it's harder to get a good contact between the stamp and the paper if there's nothing for it to sink into. If you're stamping and you're finding that you're not being a great stamper, don't give up. Get a gush pad. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of foam that's specially that is dense enough, the perfect density, to make a lovely stamped image. We sell it for $1.99. Doris sells a really big one for $3.99. Invest in a gush pad, whether it be ours or Doris's, it makes no difference. It will make a world of difference when you are stamping. Now I'm stamping in the same color ink, so let's see what happens when I do that. So I'm going to go down. I'm not going to do chest compressions. I'm not doing this. The stamp is not coming back. It's a piece of plastic, but I'm going to give nice compression or nice pressure. ABC 1, 2, 3, and pull up. Oh, lovely. Okay. Lovely. Oh, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But we're not done. Let's grab just a piece of black paper, I think. Will this fit? Oh, I got glitter on this paper, but paper has two sides. Awesome. Okay, so typically we would mat this way, and then we might pop this one this way. I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to pop this one first. So I'm going to grab some foam squares, or some foam. This is 3mm foam. I sell it in A4 sheets. The only reason why we did our own foam is because nobody does 3mm. In the package you get 2 sheets of 3mm and 2 sheets of 2mm, which I guess is, I only have 3mm out here, but it's a little thinner. I wanted my pop to be as high as I possibly could get it. And because it's in sheets, it means you can cut it to the size that you need, or even die cut it if you want to. So I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna put them on my corners. It is super sticky. It's not a tape, that way if you need it wider, I didn't want to do a roll of tape. I wanted something that if you wanted to die cut with it, you could. So I've got it on all 4 corners. And then I'll pull off my backing. And I'm a let's go for it type of girl. So some of you may take off just 2 backs and try and line it up. I'm a let's go for it. What could happen, right? Although I am a little crooked up there. Maybe I can just straighten out just a little bit. Just a hair but crooked. I know if I had a trimmer, huh? But what fun would that be? Okay, so let's line it up. Okay, and now I'm going to trim it out. To the best of my ability, freehanding. One. Two. Oh, that's actually not so bad. How are we doing so far? Then I can take my center, which fits perfectly, and instead of having that popped up, I'm going to have that recessed down in, which gives a totally different look to the card when what's normally the mat is popped and the actual image is down. So let's take some Stacy tape. And just put it on there because you'll do a better job of putting tape all the way around. I just want to get it down for you to see. And then let's kind of line it up because that circle fits perfect, because it was the circle that came out of the center of the die that we used. Fits perfect. And I'm going to pop that bad boy in there. And then, can you see how that little, it's not much of a detail, it's soft and it's subtle and it's not in your face, and yet it adds just that little bit of detail that helps frame in whether you've got a sentiment here or a stamped image or a picture. What if you put a picture behind there? How cute would that be? But to get a perfectly circle image around an open die cut, to draw that in or to add that in is virtually impossible if you are using a die. But if you're using a cut in foil, well, then that's a whole different story. It's a horse of a different color because you've got the width on that. You've got the part that's meant to foil, which is the wide part. And then you've got the part that's meant to cut. So you can achieve that look. And like I said, it's soft and it's subtle, but when you're doing guide cards, that's what you're kind of looking for. You're not looking for glitter and bam and, you know, bling, and you're looking for a nice, tailored, sophisticated or vintage, classy type of a card. And again, you can only do that when you have a cut and foil, but I didn't use foil. I didn't use foil at all. not at all. Here's the one that I did a little earlier using the pocket watch. Really just darling. And because it's an aperture and it cuts in, that allows you to determine what size do you want to cut down to. This one I made probably like a 5 by 4 3/4, where this one is much smaller. Because I cut into the paper, I can trim it to whatever I want it to be. That option is then up to me. You're not defined by the die. Because normally when the die comes out, you've got that die cut and then you're working around that. Here you could start with a huge piece of paper and you could, if you were doing a layout, how cute would this be? You could do 3 in a row and have picture, picture, picture right in a row. I mean, you have lots of options, but that little detail is just enough to add that extra pizzazz to your, this would make a great accent on your layouts, a great embellishment. Make your own embellishments. Wahoo Couture, you've got scrap paper. Make your own embellishments. You can do that. Honest, really. So let's see if I have another piece of paper in here that, I don't know. All we can do is try, right? All we can do is try. That's what my dad always said. Try something, even if it's wrong, try. If you don't try, you don't get anything. If it's a success, well, yay. And if not, well, then you learned something from it. So I'm gonna clean this off really quickly and I'm gonna try with the green. And we'll just do this really fast and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use the foil machine, which by the way, I should probably turn on. So I'm gonna ink it up. Ink, ink, ink. And I'm using Memento. What inks do you have? Chances are they're all gonna work. Do you have Hero Arts? Do you have Lawn Fawn? Do you have Stampin' Up? Do you have Memento? Do you have a combination of all of them? Do you have Tim Holtz? You can use them in any combination you would like. So I've got this pretty inky. Put my lid on. Bring my plates over. Put my dauber away. Lay this down. And I think I'll put it here. Lay it down. Oh, wrong plate. Okay, let's do a switcheroo. So I want it to be on my cut plate. So I'm just gonna do a little switcheroo right there. Lay that right down on my Sizzix multi-purpose platform. Put my do not cut plate on top. Bring over my machine. Send it through. Up to you whether you go front and back or just front. I just want to send it on through. So there's one. Cracks and creaks are to be expected and are okay when you're die cutting. The only thing you don't want to happen when you're die cutting is to force a die through. If the machine is telling you, no, it's too thick, something's wrong, listen to your machine. Oh, look at, yay. And I've got this little piece here. Okay, woohoo. So I'm gonna just trim this to something that I like. And I think I'm actually gonna do it this way. And maybe just cut a little off here. Trim a little off here so it's a little straighter. Okay, good enough for now. I'm gonna take my little dauber and Start off my page, go around. Start off my page, go around. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. It just adds a little bit of dimension to what would be flat paper. And that's what you're trying to achieve, is a little bit of dimension on something that would typically just look flat. Okay, so good for now, right? And I'm gonna take and I'm gonna stamp right on this piece. Let's see, what do I want? Well, let's do the clock. So I've got my clock. I'm going to ink it up, and I'm just going to use the same ink that I used before. The same green, which happens to be bamboo leaves. Ink, 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 ink. Oh. Maybe I won't even bother to edge that out. I'm going to bring over my, this is the paper that cut out from the center. Poof. Bring over my stamped image. I want to make sure I got enough ink on there. Right? I got enough ink, right? Now I'm the person that inks and inks and inks and inks and inks. Okay, ready? Let's just do it, right? 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Make sure I've got good all over pressure, but no chest compressions. And pull up. And too small. And then if I wanted to do this one, I could tape this one down as opposed to doing the reverse. So let's tape this down super fast. And I'm just going to tape it haphazardly. You would do a much better job. But have you looked at the back sides of your paper? Are there guy cards just waiting to be had, but all you looked at was the pretty side? We're all guilty of it. I think in my retail store, we have about 2,000 different sheets of pattern paper. And the pretty side is what speaks to me, but quite often the back side is more usable sometimes. So I'm gonna go ahead and line this on up and tape that on down. And then trim on out. Now, I don't know why I freehand. I don't know when it started. But I just do. All right, not so bad. Then I can take my foam and cut me off a big old square, or I could die cut it. If I really wanted the whole thing to have foam behind it, I could take that die and cut it to the exact size of my circle, peel off my back, put it there. Peel off my liner and line it up. Oh, calm down. It's Friday night. There's traffic everywhere. Okay, so now I popped that up, but you can see how that edge is just perfect. It's just perfect. And then where's the other stamp? Where's the other stamp? Did I put it away? Let's see, where's the other stamp? You're a classic. Here it is. I could take the You're a Classic stamp and do just what we did on the sample cards for the make and take. Stamp it and then cut it up, because I left room right here to have You're a Classic. I could cut it up and stack it straight down, and my guy card is done. Done, done, done. And easy, but it added just that little detail around the edge, allowing when you pop this up or you recess it down, that detail helps frame out what you're trying to focus on, what you've stamped or put in your sentiment. Super cute, right? And I guess I could have matted this on green and then done more. I mean, I could have triple matted it. I mean, you could go crazy, crazy. But easy to use the cut and foil. And any cut and foil die will work like that, where you can ink it. It's not just these 6 or 5 that I have, it's any cut and foil will work like that. So if you look around and you're shopping around and you see cut and foil dies, now you know you're not limited to using a Go Press and Foil with them when you're saying, oh, I would love to have a Go Press and Foil, but I just don't have one yet. You're not limited. You've got options. Now, I am going to show you how it is that they foil. And it is super simple, super easy, but you do need either a Go Press and Foil or a glimmer machine. And I've got my machine right here. This is a Go Press and Foil machine. This is not. This is a converter. Go Press and Foil. When you first buy it and you plug it in, it's going to turn red right here. All you have to do is press that button, and you want to see it either go green or blink. Most often it's going to be blinking, because that tells you that it's heating up, and you're able to feel the heat come through the lid of it. Is it hot? Yes, it's hot. You know, you want to be careful. It's not obviously burning my hands hot, but it certainly is warm. Now, with a cut and foil die, it's a little different than just a regular foiling plate. For this, we need to use a conversion plate from Couture Creations. This is not like anybody else's conversion plate. You can't just grab a metal shim out of your stash and think it's going to do the same thing. If you want to use cut and foil dies, you need to have this. Oh, there it is. It turned red. That tells me it's not hot enough. And that's because I put my hands on it and I took everything out of it. This conversion plate goes right down on the non-stick surface. And that's what this is. This is a non-stick surface, which means if I were to add, some foil, and Couture Creations has the lowest price on the foil, 15 feet for $2.80. So it's not going to melt. You don't have to worry that the foil's going to melt. It will not. This is a non-stick surface, and everything just comes right off of it, no problem. But you need that conversion plate to go down, and you need to have the foil. If this was your card or your project or your layout, the foil needs to be facing out to you. You don't ever want the foil to be going like this. You want the pretty side facing out to you. So pretend that these are your hands holding this card or this piece of cardstock. Those are your hands and it's facing you. When you peel this foil off, this is what you want to see. Now the plate The plate needs to go with the ridges face up. If you put it with the ridges face down, well, you're not going to foil anything because it's completely flush and flat. We need those ridges to be facing up so that when we apply the foil, facing you, and I turn it down, just like that. Then I close it up. I don't need a shim. With my machine, my Big Shot machine right now, I'm not needing a shim. You might find that, see, and look, it turned red again. That's because it says, oh, you just added things to this. You want me to heat all the way through the foil and the paper. I was hot, but now I need to get hotter so that we're gonna wait for this to turn green. And there it did. It's always better to let it get a little warmer than to be in a rush to go straight through. Most people, when they have trouble foiling, it's because they haven't let it get hot enough or they don't have enough pressure. And this foil is by heat and by pressure. It's not something that you put through a laminator with a toner. This foil is heat and pressure. So you can't use a foil where you're doing it through your laminator. That's not the same foil as this, which is why being $2.80 a roll for 15 whopping feet, it's a great value, and you don't feel like you've got to be skimpy, skimpy, skimpy. Now, to pull this out, you just pull straight out. Straight out, push it in, out, in. Every time you take this out, it starts to cool off immediately because it's no longer attached to the heating element. Every time you push it in, it starts to heat back up. So if you're gonna do a large production of something, if you're making invitations or cards or Christmas cards or birthday cards, and you wanna continue to have this hot, ready to go, time after time after time, after we roll it through the Big Shot machine, you wanna just put it right back into its base so it can continually be getting warm. If you leave this alone for about 20 minutes, it's going to shut off all by itself. So if you forget or you need to walk away or the doorbell rings and it's is there still the Schwen guys that come with the ice cream? Oh, that is from my childhood, and oh my gosh, that makes my heart happy to even think about it. But let's say you get distracted by squirrel and you leave this alone. Don't worry, it's going to shut off by itself. And again, it's green. That's telling me we are good to go. So I'm gonna bring over my Big Shot machine, and I don't need to have any of my platforms at all. None of my platforms, because the Go Press and Foil is going to be my platform. And this is where it's a little different. Here you need to slow your roll down so you can sing happy birthday to you, cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday to you, cha-cha-cha. And then we're gonna roll back. This time, as opposed to being so fast going zip-zap because we're die cutting, you need to slow down because we're using that pressure to take that foil and adhere it to our paper. Okay, you never know what we're gonna get. Let's see if I did it right. Sometimes, not too long ago, I foiled my die, which if you happen to do that, you put it backwards, don't worry, it's okay. It will be fine. Now, I put it right back into my heating element, and it's saying that it's not ready yet because it's flashing red, but it's heating up again so that when it is ready, it'll go green, and I'm not gonna have to wait a long time for it to be ready again. Okay, so there we are. Peel, 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 peel. Oh, a little much pressure right there, but that's okay. Look at my circle. And then, depending on what I want. Now, you might like that because it's got the distressed look. You might like that at all, well, you know, a ton. I can cut it down to whatever size makes my heart happy. because I transferred the foil around my edge. Oh. So I could cut it really down. Really, really, really down. And I could tell, oh, ho, ho. You just never know what you're gonna get. I hadn't thought about doing that. Now I can, oh yeah, I'm digging that. Now I can adhere this to this. I like that too. Do we like it with just the simple edge of green around it? Or do we like it with the black mat and the foil? Because it's an aperture die, you can do that. Oh, I don't know. That one. Oh, that's so pretty. But I have a sample, or maybe this one. Can you see dilemma? Okay, let's do that one. And I still have this piece left. Now this did not foil. Remember, this was the center. It did not foil because there was nothing in that die. It was empty in the center, so there was no pressure for it at all. Nothing. And if this is too hot for you, the machine does come with a pair of tweezers, and they're kind of unique. You don't do this. You close your tweezers to pick up a hot foil plate. Look at that, magnetic. And then to let it go, you just open them. Pick it up if it's too hot for you to touch. Put it down. This is my heat-resistant, non-stick, non-slip craft mat. So this is heat-resistant to over 500 degrees. This is not 500 degrees. So I'm gonna take, okay, I'm gonna put this one aside. I got all excited for a minute. Now I'm gonna save this piece because I can use this piece for something else. And I'm gonna save this piece because I can use this piece for something else. So let's take and put my trash away. Although Mr. SMS is not here, so he can't say anything. Not anything. And do we want to pop it up? Why not? Whew. Very excited. That's the fun of non-scripted YouTube classes. Things happen that you didn't even know you wanted to happen. So let's take off the liner and put a piece here, and take off the liner and put a piece here. Oh, put it over here. It's a little big. There. And let's make this one a little smaller. Take off the liner and put that one there. So having foam that you can cut to size out of a big sheet is very handy. Okay, so I've got all those done. That's foam. I'm not going to throw that away. Pull this. 1, 2. Now there are regular foil plates that don't cut at all, and they work just as nice, but you don't get the die cut out. It just actually foils the paper to give you that beautiful finished look that you see in the really expensive cards at Hallmark. Ha ha. So we've got that one, or we've got this one that has the subtle look of the ink just going around it. I don't know. What do you like better? You have options with these dies because they're not dies, they're cut in foils. You've got options. And with the vintage stamps, what a nice guy card that is. Super easy to do. Let's grab another, oh, could we could. We could foil right on the paper too. What if we did that? What if I foiled right on the paper? Doesn't have to be cardstock, right? Did I make it big enough? Ooh, by the hair of my chinny chin chin. So what if we cut this out and cut that down? And I want to see that blue foil on the side of the paper that I like. So let's move that over there. Let's bring my Go Press and Foil machine back. Remember, we're using a cut and foil, so it requires the conversion plate, the ridges face up, the paper with the pretty side facing down. Let's close it up. And it says it's green, but I don't believe it because I just added the paper and the foil and I just put the die back. My guess is that this is going to go to red. Now, a little more about the Go Press and Foil machine. When you get it, you need to take about an hour out of your crafty life and just play with it. Because when you're using a regular foil plate, you very well may need a shim. And most big shop machines generally take a piece of 100-pound cardstock folded in half to lay on top of everything to send through to add enough pressure to make that transfer. But you have to be willing to just play. Now the machine comes with 2 rolls of foil. What it does not come with is any kind of foiling plate for you to start with. So we sell the machine, it retails for $120. We sell it for $89.99, and that way you can afford to pick out a plate that makes your heart happy so you can start practicing. But take an hour out of your life with no expectations at all. You know, it's kind of like when you go jeans shopping. You gotta walk into the mall or your local store with no expectations of finding any jeans that are gonna fit. They're like the hardest thing in the world to find the proper fit. But with patience and perseverance, we all find ourselves a pair of jeans that we're happy with, or at least we settle for. Same thing here. Give the machine an opportunity to do what it needs to do. And for that, you just have to play. So grab yucky paper that you don't care about, take that free foil that you've got, and let it go. Now, this says green. So it says it's good. You think we should give it a try? What's the worst that can happen? We used a little bit of foil and a little bit of paper. Not the end of the world. So let's go ahead and we'll bring it on over. The minute I pull it out, it's starting to cool. So I'm going to bring my Big Shot machine back over and I'm going to send it on through. And this time we'll do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Okay, so we're through one way. L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. And there we go. We've done it both. You have to go slow to give that pressure the opportunity to adhere that foil onto that paper. I'm putting it right back into my base. I'm going to pull it up. There's my blank piece that cut from the center. And here's my other. Now, I actually think that looks pretty darn cool right there. I wouldn't take that off. It looked like I purposely did that. But there's a little extra foil on the inside rim, and I don't know if it's enough for you to see, but there is a little bit of extra foil right on that inside edge of the paper. And if you would like, that's where the creative detailer comes in. And it's really up to you whether you want this or not. It's a nice tool to have. It's relatively inexpensive and it will take off. I don't know if I can zoom it in. Let's see if I put my hand behind it. But can you see that there's a little bit of foil right on that inside edge? I'm just gonna take the Creative Detailer, and it's also a Couture Creations product. And it's a glorified pencil eraser. And I'm just gonna it almost sounds like a Dremel. I'm just gonna Dremel out. It just erases right out that extra foil where I don't want it. It comes with a really small eraser tip, and then it comes with, whoa, and they just spilled all over, holy smokes. And it also comes with one that's larger that will also fit in here so that you can exchange if you have if you need to erase something that's bigger, more, or if you're doing a very detailed edge, which is what I'm doing on the inside. And I could, if I really wanted to, I could erase some of this on the side, but I really like it on the side. I'm not taking that off. That looks really good. So again, subtle, easy to do, some ink ready to go. You don't need to pull your foil machine out at all, or pull your foil machine out and have at it. Which one do you like? You can do both. You have options. All right. I mean, and then I could edge this. I mean, there's just lots I could do. I wonder if I'm gonna ruin it. Sometimes you just take it one little step too far, right? There's always that time where you just go one little step too far. But if I add just a little bit of ink and I leave the foil so that the foil comes through the ink, one little step too far. But it's only paper. And whether you be a new crafter or an older crafter, chances are you're already you got a good collection of paper started. Oh, see, I like that, right? That looks good. I make my heart happy sometimes. Happy. And then you've got the piece where you can then stamp it. Let's see. I got the ship. Because I'm in blues, right? So let's stamp the ship. Oh, I got a hot mess going on. Poor girls are going to say, "What did you do, Stacy?" Ink up my vintage sailboat. Put my lid on because I'm notorious for not doing that. Bring my paper over. Line it up. We'll see what I get because it's the first time using the stamp. ABC 1, 2, 3. Oh, not bad. Waha. And poof, I'm almost done. And I've got that foil on those edges. Happy accidents. Finish what you start. Do not throw it away. Finish it. Even if you have to come back later to finish it. Because by the time you're done, chances are you're going to look at it and go, "Oh, yeah, that looked a whole lot better than I thought it was going to look." And whomever you give it to is going to love it. Finish what you start. And then if you finish it and you're still not happy with it, throw it away. If you really, really, really don't like it. I can't imagine that's ever going to happen to anybody. But if you really don't like it, well, then put it in your pile of not my most favorites. And you know, when you're in a pinch and you need something, use it then. but finish what you start, because I love how the foil has roughed up that edge on both sides. Looks great. Looks like I did it intentionally, but I didn't. But don't tell anybody. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm not going to tape this one down. We'll be okay. Although the girls are going to want that as a sample. They'll want to finish that. Too much fun. All right. So what do we have for you? Okay. So today I used the Couture Creations Butterfly Garden paper pad. It's pretty on one side and boyish on the other side, giving you lots of opportunity, and it's at 50% off. Then I also used, and there's almost too many here to even tell you about, all of the new Couture Creations mini stamps, from the pocket watch to a golfer to the ship to a guitar. This is a surfer dude. You've got a old jalopy, you've got a motorcycle, you've got a vintage 35 millimeter camera, you've got you're a classic, you've got an old tricycle, some Steins. I mean, the phonograph machine, all of them, they are $1.67, and then they're on sale, part of the YouTube Yummy. And yes, I did an I want it all on these, because there's just, you pick the ones you like, but for that price, holy smokes artichokes, even if there's one or two in there you don't particularly care for, give it to a crafty friend. That's a great deal. Then we have the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 brand new Couture Creations cut and foil plates. And they are also on sale, and yes, there's an I want it all for them. I used the circles today, but you can only imagine all of them would look fabulous. We've also got their creative detailer on sale, and I've got foil on sale. So you should have plenty of options to look at when you're thinking about this. And of course, we put the Go Press and Foil on sale, and the Sizzix Big Shot machine. And remember, if this is hot and you don't want to touch it, they give you the tweezers along with a silicone pad. So if you don't have a craft mat and you don't want to hurt your table, they give you a silicone pad so that you can pick it up from here with your tweezers, put it right down on your silicone mat so that you don't burn your beautiful 100-year-old your grandma gave you. You celebrate every Thanksgiving on table. They've given you the the mat as well, so that you don't have to worry about that, and 2 rolls of foil. They do not give you the conversion plate or any plates to actually use with the machine. But I keep talking to Ozzy Andrew about that. I do. All right, and remember that when you plug this in, it's only red. You actually have to push the button to turn it on. If you just plug it in and it never gets hot, press the button. Hopefully that'll take care of the problem. All right, now samples. I have oodles and oodles of samples for you. So let's start with some of the stamps. Oh, this is both. So you've got stamps and foil. So there's a cute little golfer. And then we have Happy Birthday with the beer steins in the foil. And then Let the Adventure Begin. Looky, it's so cute. The paper got embossed and sanded, embossing folder, and then foiled. How cute is this? Let the Adventure Begin with the surfer. So all of these stamps are part of that collection I just showed you. And here they just used a classic. Not your a classic, just a classic. And here we have the little guitar. It's popped up, colored in, made a decoupage out of the little guitar here by cutting it, fussy cutting it twice. Ooh, look at this one. Love that. Love, 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 love. Ooh, and I love this one too. Let the Adventure Begin. How beautiful is that? Oh my gosh. Lovely. And then we have some more with, well, I think they're just kind of all together. So you've got the foil here. And here, the aperture has been cut right out of the card base this time. Put a window right into your card and then foiled around the edges. You could never get that if it wasn't an aperture cut and foil die. Pretty. Pretty with the heart shape, foil around the outside. Look at how lovely. And these were all made with that. This was all made with the butterfly garden paper. Pretty. All done with the foil. Now that's not the paper, but this is the paper. Done with the aperture. So you've got the foil around the edge. Let the adventure begin. So that's a stamp, and then you've got the foiled edge on the circle, giving just that little pop of detail, that little extra detail. And here we have the hello. And this one was double foiled, so using the two, because they are nesting. You can nest, so using the two. And then a happy birthday. Pretty. Foil around the edges. So pretty. And then I have a bunch with the stamps again. So you're a classic. Fold it up. And you've made somebody a little calendar. How cute is that? And that's just scoring the paper. This is just a basic card base, 5x7, scoring the paper so you can pull it up. That's no trick there. That's easy peasy. Oh, yes, I'm right, right? I am, I'm right. Okay. I think I'm right. Again with a calendar for somebody, just a cute day calendar. Little golfer dude, how cute is that? Oh, and I love this one too. Love this, how cute. And then the old jalopy in blue. And then the motorcycle, very cleverly stamped off and then stamped and fussy cut out. Very clever. And then another old jalopy. And then a good time had by all. And then the vintage plain, let the adventure begin. And then our surfer dude. And how cute is this? These are just darling. And birthday wishes. Love them all. But I don't know which one's my favorite, to be honest with you. I think they all look amazing. Although that one's so super cute too, isn't it? All right. So I'm going to tilt on up and I'm going to say, okay, we did a lot today. Hopefully you can see the benefit of, let me go on back because that's an awful lot of me. Hopefully you can see the benefit of the cut and foil dies and how they can be utilized in a lot more than just foiling. And with the Aperture dies, oh, wait, Claire, oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Layout. I almost forgot. Okay, layout. Claire did a layout. Again, using the Aperture dies and she foiled them. Look at how cute is this. She foiled this one. I mean, these are just darling. Oh, I'd have been in some serious trouble if I had forgotten that sample. All right, so you see how you can use them. You can see that they've got more than one purpose, and that by taking some of the stuff you already have and incorporating it with some of the new stuff that you would love to have, how you can get the most out of both. And with those stamps at that price, do not pass those stamps up. And the foiling plates, I think are going to be, I think they'll be on sale at $20. I think they're $25 and they'll be 20% off. So I think they'll be about $20 or $19.99, something like that. And even if you don't have a Go Press and Foil, you can see what can be done with them. And if you do have a glimmer machine or another foiling machine, don't be afraid to use the Go Press and Foil, the Couture Creations foiling plates with them. Utilize the machine that you have. And I hope that you enjoyed this YouTube, because it's me, Stacy. Where are you going to find all of this great product? Well, on a lot of this, especially those foiling plates, they're exclusive here right now. So the stamps, I'm not sure if the stamps are out yet either. I would send you to your local retailer to go buy them, but I think we may be the only ones who have them right now. But inks, you can certainly go visit your independent retailer for your inks. You can certainly go see if they've got blocks or gush pads. Some of the other items that we used, visit them, see if they have them, and if they do, buy it from them. Say, hello, I'm so thankful to have an independent retailer, and shop there. And then come shop online, whether it be with us or somebody else, for the product that you can't get locally. That's how you support your mom and pop independent retailers, which is exactly what we are. Where are you going to find all of this? You'll find it at scrapbookingmadesimple.com or our retail store. Come visit us or see us online, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. All right, you guys, it's me, Stacy. I will see you next week. Bye, everybody.